Hello everyone, Periscope and Facebook. Hi, thank you for joining. I'm going to start in just a moment. I'm just going to allow some time for viewers to join in the conversation or discussion or broadcast, whatever you would like to call it. Okay, let's see. Hold on. Facebook is lagging, so I'm trying to see what is going on. Okay, so today, let's see. So today I was scheduled to leave work early, which is always amazing and exciting for me. And there's some things that I had to take care of, some business I had to take care of. So I said, it's a good day to do that. It's nice out. I'm out of work a little early, so, that was cool. So I go there's this lady, she's going to help me with taking care of this stuff. And so this is not right, hold on. Okay, so I go to this building that she works in, and I've been in the building before, but I feel like that was at least 2 to 3 years ago, and I feel like so much in the building has changed. Not to mention when I was in that building, it was usually at night. Hi, Miss Candace. Hi, Corinne. So I go into this building looking for this woman who's going to help me handle my business that I have to take care of, right? So when I go in, there's somebody by the door, so they move over so I can go past them. I walked in. Now, when I walked in, there was like this little office off to the side, and it was lit up, and there were people in there, but if I'm not mistaken, there was no signs or anything saying, go this way, come in this office. So I proceeded to walk straight down the hallway. There was a sign on the wall that said, this office is over here, this office is over there, go this way for that, this way for that. So I figured I didn't have the woman's card with me. So I'm going off of memory. I'm like, I think she works in this office. So I went towards the way of the office that I believe she was in, got on the elevator, I went upstairs. There's no one. Like, I have not seen a person. After I passed that office that was on the left, I have not seen one person. So I'm walking, I go on the elevator, I get off at the floor I believe I'm supposed to be on, and then there's like this door. So I go through the door and there's no one. Like, there's a desk here, no one's at that desk. There's a desk here, no one's at that desk. There's an office ahead, no one's in that office. So I go to walk, further into that area, and I see this guy, and I say, excuse me, is there any way I can contact so-and-so through this office? So he said, yes and no. She does work here. You can get in contact with her. However, when you first came in the building, there was an office off to the left. You should go in there. So now in my head, I'm like, okay, I gotta go all the way back downstairs. Somebody in that office probably watched me walk by and didn't say anything. Not to mention, when I first pulled up to the building, I parked, and I realized that there were parking meters, and I didn't bring any money for that with me. So I drove around to the back, and then I had to walk back around to the front. And this is like around the block, right? Around the block. So, and when I was going to start walking around the block to go to the front, back to the front of the building, I saw that there was a door in the back, which is the door that I used to come out of when I used to go to that building a couple years ago. And now it says employee only. So as I'm walking to the front of the building, I'm like, you know what, Lord? This is crazy. Like, the door is right here to this building. I can just go in that door. So now I'm in the building. The guy tells me to go back downstairs. So I go downstairs. I go to the office that was off to the left. I stand there for a second. People are looking at me. No one's saying anything. Hi, how may I help you or anything? So finally this lady, she comes and she says, may I help you? And I say, yes, I'm looking for so-and-so. Okay. So the lady says, well, do you have an appointment? I said, no. Okay, what's your name? So I told her my name. She called. The lady didn't answer. Mind you, before I even went to the building, I called, and the lady didn't answer, and I left a message. But me being me, I just figure like you might be on the phone with someone else, you might be helping someone else. I'm just going to show up. It's the only day I might have to show up and handle this business. So that's what I did. So she was like, well, do you want to leave a message? And I said, no, thank you. I'll just get in contact with her later. So I caught a couple different revelations, if you will, in that little journey of me going to this building. Number one, I wanted to go through the back door because the back door was right across the street from where I parked. The front door was all the way around the block. Like, literally, I had to go up this block, over this block, and then down this block like a third of the way. That's a lot of walking for me. I don't walk. So I wanted to go through the back door. So my first thing is, sometimes there is a quicker way to do things. There's a quicker way to get things done. There's a quicker way to get where you're going. Shortcuts are not always the safest route to go. There are processes, information, people, places, and things that you might need to encounter on your way to wherever you're going. And a shortcut is not always the safest or best way. So, and God will show us that, as we go through. We always try to go the shortcut way. Like, for example, once you know your purpose, you know your call, a lot of times you get so excited about that identity, like knowing who you are. You're like, I gotta go do this. But God is like, no, I have to take you through this, and 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 this to get you here. When you're like, well, God, I see it. It's right there. Let me just boot right there. And God is like, no. But that's the way he protects us. Because I remember when I first got saved, what someone said to me was, imagine a baby apple tree having all of the grown adult apples on it that it would ever have while it's a baby. The tree will bend and break. And that's just like us. If God gives us everything that we are destined to have in our life, or even destined to be, all at once, without going through the process, it will break us. That's one thing. Second, because I read the signs, I knew where the office was, I proceeded to go there. I'm like, this is where I'm going, so I'm just going to go. I didn't think I needed to go into this little office on the side because there was nothing telling me that I needed to go in this office over here on the side. So I proceeded to walk to my destination. And when I got to my destination, it was dark and it was lonely. And even though the building is that big and it only took me that long to get to where I thought I needed to be, there was nothing there for me when I got there. And it was dark and it was lonely. And it was even a little bit scary because I'm like, why are there no people in this building? It is so quiet. It's a weekday. It's a business day and I don't see any people. So, it was just a little scary. But a lot of times, where you're going, you have to go by yourself. We always want company. It feels good to have people around. You want company. You want your friends. You don't want to go to the movies by yourself because that's boring. There's nobody to laugh with. But sometimes that's the route you have to go. By yourself. Dark, lonely, scary, whatever. And you have to know and you have to trust that God is with you. He promised to never leave us nor forsake us. So no matter what the road looks like, no matter what the path looks like, God is always with us. And he will always make sure that we get to the destination at the appointed time, at the set time, and not a minute earlier if we allow him to be in control. Right? So that's another thing I got. And then, so now the thing that I was trying to handle in this business, in this building, the business that I was trying to handle in the building, when I got to the office that I was told to go to, I felt like the people around me that were in that office were not there for anything like I was there for. They may have needed a little more help in different situations. I'll just say it like that. And a lot of times, what I found out is like a lot of times, your process, what you have to go through, who you have to meet and encounter to learn certain lessons, it doesn't look like or represent where you're going or what you're trying to get to. Because these people that I'm seeing, I'm just like, well, they don't look like they're, granted, that is a judgment. I was making a judgment. I'm totally guilty of that. But, I'm like, they don't look like they're here for the same thing I'm here for. So maybe this building offers a lot of different services that I don't know about. And I was not in social services. I feel like somebody is thinking in their head that I was in social services. I was not in social services. I bless God that I am delivered from social services. Been there, done that, Done with that. So that's not the building I was in. Don't get to thinking in your head that I was trying to go get some food stamps or some health insurance or anything like that. Some people need that stuff. And I bless God for that stuff because when I was a kid, that's what we had, social services. But I don't have that now. So I just learned just by going to this building and experiencing what I've experienced is that, one, don't try to take a shortcut. Go through your processes. God will bring you through the processes and they will be over. They will not last forever. And even though it was a really nice day today, it's a little breezy when you have to walk a little distance. So as I was walking, I was a little cold. I just was a little uncomfortable. The building was dark and lonely. But I'm like, I have to do this to get where I want. And even though I did not get what I expected to get when I got there, I know that business will still be taken care of in my favor, whether now, later, tomorrow, or next week. That business will still be taken care of. So even though I went through all of that I went through today to try to get that taken care of, and it did not happen, I was not able to contact the person that I needed to contact in order to get this thing on the roll. There are other channels that I can still take to make sure that my business is taken care of. At the end of the day, my point is this. You cannot ever trust in man, right? Some trust in horses and chariots, but we trust God. God first. God will always open the door, clear the path, bring the mountains low, bring the valleys up, make it plain. So it's like, just don't take shortcuts. Don't place your expectation in man, but trust God. And know that even sometimes you might feel like you reached your destination. If you reach your destination, or if you acquire the things that you are destined to acquire before the set time, before the appointed time, you may just have to go back and start at the beginning. So that's what I got today in my little journey to this building to handle my business. And it was very interesting as I was by myself. And that's another thing I mentioned, that a lot of things that we go through, a lot of that what that process looks like in getting to our purpose, our calling, our destiny, and acquiring those things that come with it. A lot of times we have to go through that alone, and it is very lonely, and it's like it can become a little weary. And then you have the word of God telling you, like, do not become weary in well doing, but you will reap in your due season. So another thing I want to mention is that usually if I get out of work early, I am like calling everybody in America to see who's free and who can like buddy up with me while I go handle my business. And today I was like, no, I went and had lunch with my husband, and then I was just like, I'm going to ride this out by myself. And God spoke to me through that. Even the simplest things, God can speak to us through and give us revelation or insight, or whatever he wants to do, or however he wants to do it. However he speaks to you may be different than how he speaks to me. So, with that being said, you can catch the replay of the video. I think I'm going to do another one. I don't know if I'm going to do it right now or later or tomorrow, but I do have another video to do. I thank you all for your love and your support and your feedback. I love you. Mean it. Bye.